Hello, viewers. Welcome to week 16 EPL review. And here in the studio, we have Blaze, our amazing Chelsea fan. Blaze, welcome.
Thank you so much, Bube. It's amazing to be here once again.
And also here in the studio, we have Emmanuel, our amazing Arsenal fan. You're
Thank
welcome,
you, Gube.
Emmanuel.
I've always looked forward to coming back to the studio. We went on a break and it's been boring actually outside here. So then I'm glad we're back.
Weekend game will be starting with your team, and they'll be playing Everton. Everton is currently have 14 points in the
Yeah.
league, while you guys have third in the league
With 29 points.
29
Yeah.
points. So, my Arsenal fan, what are your expectations? I know Arsenal has been, yeah, you guys have been doing so well, though you guys drew
Against Fulham.
Yeah, so I know you guys have been doing so well, but what are you expecting in this game?
Gube, you shouldn't be asking me what I'm expecting. You should be asking me what is my score line. Yes. Well, as
If
expectations.
we had interviewed you before Fulham Arsenal game, you would have said goals will flow in the game.
But
But it's not always like that.
obviously, that game was designed for Arsenal to win that game. That second goal, VAR actually gave them goal as an onside.
Yeah, I saw the line.
It
Yes.
was green, but the referee cancelled it.
Insisted.
So invariably, it is the referee that has the final
Say.
say. And I want to also assume that match was fixed as a draw game, because you can't tell me that VAR gave a green line for that goal to be allowed, and the referee said no. So for that game, it was actually predicted Arsenal will win that game, because from the second half of that game, Arsenal played Fulham half field. Second half of that game, the goal Fulham gave, it was just like a lucky goal, and we just had to fix ourselves together, and then we equalized, and then we started pumping the pressure and everything. But that's by the way. Let's talk about Everton now. Everton does not stand a chance. You know very well. It is a clear win. It's a clear win for Arsenal, because in the last 5 matches, Arsenal has beaten Everton home and away. So we should be talking about when next we are playing, Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea, because we owe them a win. Draw we have it was just like a City. We owe Chelsea a win. Don't worry. By January.
So Bube is Arsenal, so allow me to talk. It's Arsenal. I like my colleague Emma. Whenever he talks about Arsenal, passionately, and with so much pride, and he's always sure. I'm sure, assuming we did a show before the Fulham game, we would have said the same thing. But there's something about Arsenal recently. They've not been really creating chances. Look at their last 2 to 3 games. Their goals have been coming. Don't get me wrong. Corner kick is part of the game. I mean, you can wait. But for a top team like Arsenal, you shouldn't. We're not expecting you that the only way you can score is through corners. Do you get that? This is the kind of tactics we are expecting for teams like Southampton, all these relegation battle teams. If you cannot do anything, pack the balls. Then when you get corner, you score through corners. But no, this Arsenal has not been. Not just creative. For me, they've not been exceptional this season. When you look at their previous seasons, you understand that one of Arsenal's biggest strengths the season before now and the season before the season is that they have had a very solid defense. This season, they've not had that. The goals Arsenal has considered, Chelsea has considered, the Chelsea that they say have a very poor defense have considered the same number of goals and a poor goalkeeper. So there's nothing exceptional Arsenal is doing this season. For this particular game, of course, like Emma has explained, is they're playing a smaller side. So of course, everybody will just take Arsenal to win. But to be honest, Everton is a kind of team that can be able to hold that corner. So if they cannot create, that corner and extra will not work.
Okay, so really, let's look at the next game that we play, and it's going to be between Liverpool and Fulham. You, my Arsenal fan and my Chelsea fan, I know you guys have been so eager to see Liverpool drop points.
Yeah,
and
of
they are
course.
currently topping the league. I think they played draw within the week. Yes, and they are going to be meeting Fulham that played draw with Arsenal. So I feel like personally that it's not going to be an easy game
At all.
for Liverpool, and this might be another chance for for Fulham to collect at least 1 point in this game. Okay, but moving forward, I would like to get your opinion, please, on this game, on this Liverpool Fulham. What do you think might happen in the game?
Just like you have,
On the
just like you have pointed out, it's not going to be a very easy game for Liverpool because if you have watched Liverpool, not Liverpool now, if you have watched Fulham this season,
so,
you understand that they team to beat. You know, I always say it whenever we meet in this show that for to analyze a team is beyond where they are on the league table.
Yeah.
Just for example, when you're playing in Newcastle or you're playing in Spurs, they might be, or you're playing in Manchester United, they might be 14th, 15th on the table, but these teams are still strong teams. For Fulham, they're still a strong team. They are 10th on the table. But if you watch them against that is Arsenal, and you watch their previous games, you see that they're a team that have won a very good, solid pattern of play. Yeah, Liverpool, they are top of the league now. They are playing exceptionally well. Slot has been magical this season. They are not just top of the league in the Premier League, they're also top of the league in the Champions League. But I feel that this game is going to be a very cleanly contested match. It's going to be very tough. And for me, I think it's going to be a game that can end as a draw. But the only thing I will say is that Liverpool is a scoring side. They know how to score goals. Fulham, on the other hand, I watched their especially during the first half against Arsenal. They also know how to create. The only thing I'll be saying is that this match should be a kind of match that will have lots of goals, maybe a 2-2 kind of match. That's what I'm looking at. But at the end of the day, if there is any team that will come out top, it will be Liverpool. But I think it's a match that can end up as a draw.
Okay, so quickly, let's go to the next game that we played, and it's between Newcastle and Leicester. So far, Newcastle have won 5 games, drew 5 games, and lost 5 games. While Leicester City have actually won 3 games, drew 5 games, and lost
7 games.
So far, after Leicester City changed their coach, they've altogether accumulated 4 points.
Yes.
We can actually say they've been doing well.
They've improved. Yeah, they've improved
in the league. So I would like to get your opinion, Emmanuel, on your take on this game between Newcastle and Leicester City.
Well, I wouldn't say the new coach, the Van Nistelrooy, actually is doing anything exceptional because I've watched Leicester City 2 matches, and I would say it is still the same Leicester City that I've seen before the new coach came in. I was expecting him to actually come in with a pattern like that would change, their pattern of play and probably, reduce their conceding, their conceding problems because they concede a lot. That's a problem. And I think for a new coach to come in, I was waiting them to say, okay, if you don't want to score more goals, then stop conceding. Because see the game against Brentford, I mean, you scored first. I think they scored first. Before you know, I was seeing 4-2 thereabout. So I think I will not say Newcastle and Leicester City have actually woken up or they've actually come back. Yes, they've gotten some points on their last games. But I think I'll still give it to Newcastle because a Newcastle that was able to hold a Liverpool with a 3-3 draw last week. And before that 3-3, I think they played against Tottenham and they were able to score up to, I think they were able to score 2 goals in that game. But then Newcastle is a team that they have the quality of players more than the Leicester City. The only player I can call as exceptional in Leicester City there is Vardy. James Vardy.
He's an old man now.
Yeah, he's struggling to actually be in form.
Yeah.
But for Newcastle, you have Isak there, you have Ameron and the rest of them. So for me, I think it's going to be a win. It's going to be for Newcastle. Then my advice to Leicester City, they have their fans watching this show. They should work on their defense. It's really a problem. Indeed, he's doing real good. He's trying to.
I think for that defensive position, I think it will be until they go into the January summer signing break. Because if you look at their back line, that Faiz, I was talking to somebody in the viewing center last week, and I told the person, I don't understand how Faiz became a starting defender for Leicester and for Belgium. How? Because anytime you watch that guy, he's always making mistakes.
Yeah, he flops a lot.
A lot. How did you become a footballer? But that's this problem.
Okay, quickly, let's look at the next game that we played between Wolves and Ipswich, 2 relegation teams meeting each other this weekend. So quickly, Blaze, what do you think? What are your expectations in this game?
You know, Ipswich Town is my second favorite club after Chelsea, even though they are not really where I expected them to be on the league table. But for me, they still have a pattern of play. They still have a philosophy. They are still doing well. I watched them against Manchester United. Unfortunately, the last time they played also against Bournemouth, I watched them. They scored first. They actually scored first, and they really dominated at least the first half. It was from the second half that Bournemouth started dominating and all that. And just like you pointed out that Leicester has a defensive problem, I think is a problem that Ipswich Town also have. They have a very big defensive problem. If they can sort out their defense, they have good a very good attacking output. Anytime you watch them, they create chances and at least they score goals. For Wolves, on the other hand, last we saw them play what we call El Sakiro or El Sakiro. The debut where they played against West Ham. Let's see the first to sack our coach, and they still lost that game. So if they're going to go into this game with the same coach, to be honest, and I think Ipswich Town might likely win, because when you look at the two teams, the one that is more balanced at the moment is Ipswich Town. So I will go for an Ipswich Town win, even though that naturally Wolves is the more experienced side. They're the ones that have stayed higher in the league. But for me, with what is happening presently in the Premier League and with how I have watched Ipswich Town play, I think this is the kind of team that they can collect 3 points from.
It's quite unfortunate on Wolves side that they have same points with people that just promoted.
I think Wolves have also been very unlucky this season because just like we're talking about Ipswich Town, also they have a good attacking threat. Players like Cora, we have seen the kind of goals he has already scored this season. But the problem is that they are scoring and they are also conceding. So it's the same problem that Leicester is having, Ipswich Town is having. Wolves also they are having. This kind of problem is the kind of problem that can be settled during the January transfer window. But another issue is that these are small clubs. You'll be asking questions like, can they be able to bring up the funds to strengthen this defensive issue?
Let's see how that goes. So quickly to the next game that will be played between Nottingham Forest and Aston Villa. Aston Villa is the bigger side. They are currently sixth in the league with 25 points. While Nottingham Forest are currently fifth in the table with 25 points as well.
So goal difference.
You just see one goal difference. So
this is another tough game of the week. So Emmanuel, what do you think will play out in this game?
For me, I think Aston Villa is on the bigger side here. Though Nottingham Forest, they've actually been they've actually been doing very well. But I'll give it to an Aston Villa, because you look at their head-to-head, the last 5 games they've had. Aston Villa have had 3 wins. They've had 1 draw, and then Nottingham Forest has had just 1 win. And then looking at their performance recently, I would say Unai Emery is actually maintaining his pattern of play. He goes for the defensive and more of attacking, and then less of conceding, because you look at their games, the last 3 matches, they've not actually conceded much goals, even though they've not won convincingly. But then in football, you predict what you feel based on analysis, and then the unexpected happens. Nobody expected that their last game, I think their last game against Southampton, they managed to escape a win. Not much would have ended in draw, it kind of. Then for Nottingham Forest, I think they played and they played against Man U.
Nottingham Forest really played well in that match. Even though I think the scoreline ended 3-2, so it's just like a 1-0 match.
1-0 win.
But if you watch that match, you understand that Nottingham Forest really dominated that game.
They are not consistent, because if you see the game against Man City, they lost. But then the match before Man City, they won against Ipswich.
I don't think it's a consistency problem. I think it's in Nottingham. These people, we are still Nottingham Forest. They're not a very big side. So you don't expect them to perform magic against a team like Man City.
Yeah.
So if they see a team like Ipswich Town that they can hammer,
Yeah.
they hammer. At the moment, if they see a team like Manchester United that is not very balanced, they can hammer them. But if they see a team that maybe use Chelsea or Arsenal, for example, you will not expect them to do something exceptional. Aston Villa, like you said, to me, they've been here, neither here or there this season. So it's possible that Nottingham Forest can end up getting something from that game. It's very possible because if Aston Villa play the game like they played against Chelsea, I'm so sorry for them. I'm so sorry for them. But and you just pointed out that they narrowly won against Southampton. So I think it's going to be a very tough match. You can't really point out who will win this game.
But I think I'll go for goals. I'll go for goals in that match. I'll go for goals. I mean, I'm not really give it a win for Nottingham for Aston Villa because they are playing away. I know they are playing what's it called? They're playing against the Leipzig in the Championship. So definitely they're going to put in. I think this is the last lap of the Champions League
group stages.
Yeah, so every team is trying to see how they can actually get qualified so that they don't go and make playoff. They're going to put in their best. And then coming back to the Premier League by the weekend. So for Nottingham, they are relaxed.
No.
So I think we'll just go for goals. Both teams to score game in that match.
The next game will be between Brighton Crystal Palace. So Brighton is currently 7th on the league with 24 points, while Crystal Palace has won 2 games, drew 7 games, and lost 6 games in the league. So Blaze, I want to get your expectations on this game.
So the thing about Brighton is, I've said it before, I've pointed it out in this, they've really surprised me this season. The team that they're a very solid team, and to be honest, after they sacked their last coach, I was thinking that they will not really perform well this season, and they got a new coach, and the guy has been doing exceptionally well. It's not easy to be 7th in the Premier League table for a team like Brighton, and it's not just that they are 7th; they have 24 points, and the person that is 6th and 5th have 25 points. So they're just 7th with it's just 1 point that's separating them from 5th in the table. So the side that really started well. Crystal Palace, on the other hand, the side that I thought would really perform this season, and unfortunately they've not really started well. They even though if I think their last match they drew their last match. Am I correct,
Crystal Palace,
I think they drew their last match
against Man City.
Against a Man City. So you know what that means. So for me, they've been here. They've been neither here or there. Even though that if you look at the way Crystal Palace have performed this season, they have lost 6 matches already. So for me, this is the kind of game that I think the better team so far will win. So I will go for a Brighton win, even though it's not going to be a very easy win. Maybe a 1-0, 2-0 kind of win.
So the next game is a Manchester derby, and is between Man City, Manchester United. I would have said that this is going to be a survivor of the fittest game. Seeing how
the two teams are actually
seeing how Man City have been struggling, but judging based on their last 2 games, they've actually acquired 4 points. They've won 1 and they drew 1. Why Man United, on the other hand, have lost 2 of the last matches, last 2 games. So, Emmanuel, what do you think will play out in this game?
I think the lucky side will win the game. I won't say the better side because both teams are not.
Exactly. You just got to. Man, you should be a politician.
because if a team like Crystal Palace can get a draw against
Man City,
and then Nottingham Forest will beat Man U. I don't know. I'm surprised if Ipswich Town come again because they actually won Ipswich Town, but it was not an easy win because Ipswich Town scored first,
and
then they equalized and then they won. If Man City should play Ipswich now at the moment, they will beat Man City. Honestly speaking, because I don't know their problem. Look at the Champions League game against Feyenoord. We were winning 3-0. All of a sudden, I was seeing 3-3. I mean, that defensive problem, like we always said on this show. See, if you cannot score, don't concede, because once your defense is, that's why I always give it to Arteta. When he came in as Arsenal coach, the first thing he fixed,
he was trying to fix was the defense. Yeah.
And that's the most important thing you should fix as a coach, so that even if you cannot score goals, at least reduce. You're
not conceding.
We've seen cases where people win leagues, people go further in league because of just goal difference. You see, you can see now it's playing out now currently.
Yeah,
a team will be giving the other team, one goal gap, 2 goals gap. So I think Man City have a problem now. And if Man is wise enough, they should use the opportunity and get 3 points. For me, come back.
For me, because Man U is the best Man U can get in that match is a draw. Because Man U is Man U. And the thing about Man City at the moment is that they are lacking players.
Yeah.
What you cannot remove from Man City is that they still have Pep and they still have some brilliant players in that team. So you'll be surprised that in this game is the day that Kevin De Bruyne and Haaland will wake up and perform magic and touch Abasa. But at the moment we have seen how they've been performing. It's been neither here or there. But you can't blame them. This is a team that when people asked me the last show we had that what's really wrong with this team, and I told her that this is a team that have won the Premier League 4 times in a row. It's just natural that they will be fatigued, they will get tired, some of the players will be injured. It's just normal.
And
they are not robots. Yes,
also has his own
way of allowing others to dominate.
For the first time in the Premier League, I think
it's the first time.
Before. So they made Premier League on it.
Look like
So, I mean, they should just rest. But it's unfortunate that Man U, on the other hand, they are not in form.
Yeah.
So I will not expect Man U to win.
The best that Man U, I'm too sure. I know Manchester United. You get Manchester United is not a team that you bank on at the moment. So the best I'll give Manchester United in this game is a draw. If anybody will win that game, it's going to be Man City.
I was even thinking that after Man U changed their food, that they will start performing.
Look, I said it here severally that Man United problem is more than a coach problem. Watch this team play. I say it always. Manchester United fans always come for me. I know my friend Superior is watching and he will come for me also. But the truth is that they don't have the kind of players they feel that they have. Do you get that? Who can you point out that when the odds are down can perform a magic in that team? Do you get when nothing is working? Who can if you look at a team like Arsenal and you say if nothing is working, Saka can perform magic. If not, Odegaard can perform magic. If you look at a team like Chelsea, you see Palmer, even Sancho, will perform magic. Look at even the Man City we are talking about. If everything is not going well, Kevin De Bruyne can throw one time wicket pass and everything. And if you look at that Man United team, the only person you would have banked on is Das Fernandes. But we have watched him recently and it's as if that something is going on. So there's no combination. If you look at Rashford is no longer Rashford. I say it always, they don't have a striker. Both Zigzag and Hodgson, I don't rate them. Sorry. The only player there I'm rating at the moment is an Ahmad that has been exceptional the last 3 or 4 games. But the coach saw him as a wing back and he's playing him as a wing back. So he's not going to perform magic. But let's see. Manchester United fans will come for me eventually.
They should prove us in this game. So let's look at the next game that will be played between Chelsea and Brentford. You're already excited. They are second. They are second in the.
I'll call it a giveaway match for Chelsea.
See, Chelsea this season we are not disrespectful. Every match is difficult for it's difficult for us. We are going into no. We are not title contenders. We are going into the match trying to win the next game. And honestly, Brentford is not a club you overlooked. They're ninth on the table. They've won 7 games and drawn only 2. So even though that they have also lost 6. Do you get that? But to win 7 different games this season and you're drawing it means that they're a team to beat. So for me, it's not a walkover like you're seeing it. True, Chelsea are on the form of their life. They have a coach that has sense. If you watch our last game, we after that Cucurella slip, we were losing that game 2-0, then 2-1. at halftime, do you know what it is for a coach? If you watch the first half, you understand that the best player in that half was Lavia.
Yeah.
Do you know what it takes for a coach to remove your best player in a half and bring in another player in Gusto and change the tactics altogether? Then you remove Badashi, who was at the right centre back, you pushed him to the left, either right or he changed Badashi's position to a more comfortable position, and that game changed.
Because even when Badashi was at the other position,
he was very shaky, and the game just changed. What I'm trying to say is that Chelsea have a solid coach at the moment, so anything they play, you'll be surprised that against Brentford, this man comes with a totally different angle altogether. So you can't, to be honest, for me, it's going to be a Chelsea win, but I'm not underrating Brentford. They're very solid side. I watched their games. There is another team that I think have a very solid coach that knows what he's doing. Yes. Those they have underrated players. So that if you're talking about solid strikers in the league, you might not remember Brentford strikers, but week in, week out, you're hearing not less than a Brentford, somebody like Wissa scoring.
Thank you.
Do you get that? So I think they team to beat, and it's another tough match for Chelsea. But I think that is a match that Chelsea should win. Yeah.
Okay, so quickly, let's look at the next game that will be played between Southampton and Spurs. So far, Southampton is one team that I can beat my chest that they might go on relegation. Because I don't know. They've only won one game since the league started. And they are currently 20th on the table. Meanwhile, Tottenham, on the other hand, they are on and off, just like we've always pointed out. So what do you think will play out on this game?
Well, I think Southampton on their own part, they have not actually gotten themselves. I just hope that by the January transfer window they'll be able to make some changes and probably buy some players. But then for Tottenham, like we've always said, Tottenham is inconsistent.
They need to bank on
Tottenham. So at this point, I'll just say whoever is serious in that game will win the game, because sometimes they can be very stubborn. I watched their game against Aston Villa.
Even against Chelsea, forget the scoreline. It was a heavy scoreline, but they had the pattern of play.
Very well, And the game against Aston Villa, like I said, Aston Villa managed to win that game. So it was a kind of a tough game. I think they brought out their best in that game. So if they can bring out their best against a Spurs that is inconsistent, I think they might get a draw in that match, because Spurs, they are not stable at all. It's a team that they don't have a pattern of play. Today they are changing their pattern of play. Sometimes it is good to change pattern of play depending on the team you're playing. But I think for a team like Southampton, you should have not just you come in and play whatever you see. So for me, I think I'll just give it maybe a Spurs win or probably a draw.
Okay, all right. So let's look at the next game that will play between Bournemouth and West Ham. Bournemouth is 13 on the league, and they've won 7 games. They've drew 3 games and lost 5 games. While West Ham, on the other hand, have won 5 games. They've drew 3 games and lost 7. So what do you think will play out on this game?
So for Bournemouth, I think even though they are 13th and West Ham is 14th, I think Bournemouth is a side that I have watched this season also, and they have a very solid pattern of play. If you watch them play, you will enjoy their football. In fact, anytime they play against big teams, you see them trying to go toe to toe with them. Even against Chelsea, I cannot forget that game. It was until Ukuku performed that magic. He performed that Chelsea was able to win that game 1-0. These people are the people that actually won Arsenal. One of the losses Arsenal have this season is against Bournemouth. So I think
so far they've had 3 straight winnings.
Yes, do you get that?
And they are playing home.
Yes, exactly.
Recently, I learned that what's his name? This is their striker for West Ham. What is that his name again? That huge guy that.
Yes, Antonio had an accident.
It's gonna affect their
exactly.
So for me, I think Bournemouth will use the opportunity and get a win against West Ham. Even though West Ham won yesterday, against Wolves.
You know how bad West Ham has been this season. So if you look at the two teams, the better side this season is Bournemouth.
Yeah.
So if there's anybody who go for a win, it should be Bournemouth. The only thing is that I want West Ham to actually win, so that if Manchester United lose, but they will go down. Let them come.
They'll look for your hand and show me
Okay, guys. So this is all we're coming to the end of the show. It's always nice having both of you in the studio.
Same here,
Thank you for being here. Blaze.
Of course, I enjoy being here. I enjoy bantering Emma. It will be cool that Everton stops Corner FC this season. I said this is this week. Let's see if Arsenal can use Corner to win again.
The part is that you get the 3 points. Whether you win through Corner or you win that is talking. They are the penalty FC. If you start the penalty, you can't win it. What are you talking about? You're winning with the advantage. I'm winning with one advantage. You win penalty. Let me see how Chelsea will win the game.
Let's see. It's going to be an interesting week. Let's see how it goes out.
So guys, don't forget to click on our subscription button, click on the notification button for more interesting episodes that we'll be bringing your way through this channel. See you guys in our next